Now for more, talking of which, we welcome school teacher Atara Orebouch from Sderot. And Atara, we spoke a little bit earlier on in the day, and yet sirens sounding again just a short while ago. Where you are, talk us through your reaction the second time round when you heard those sirens this evening.
Well, after in the afternoon, we had a lot of rockets. We thought we got a message that it's all over and we could go back to normal life. So we tried to go back to normal life, but sure, again, we had another rocket. But the rocket in the evening, I was home and my family was home. And my grandchildren were sleeping in the shelter room as usual. That's their life. So I was calmer. But I must say that in the afternoon, I was in school. It was during class, 7th graders, and we heard the red alert. And in the sheltered room, I mean, our school is sheltered, and the boys, the 7th grade boys, were not calm. I don't even know what happened outside. I just heard the rockets and the red alert, but the students were really uptight. And then we got phone calls from parents. They started calling. They want the children to come home. And of course, I can't let them go home by themselves. So instead of teaching, I was busy answering phone calls. And each parent who wants to come to take the child home has to wait outside near the gate of the school, where we have shelter rooms outside. And only when I know the parent is there, I could let the child run quickly to the parent. And I had 30 children, so one by one, I let them out. That way, each time a parent came. That's what we were busy with instead of studying computer science. We have a computer science test in 2 weeks, a national test. And we started going over tests from the past and preparing. And instead of preparing for the test, we were busy with all these rockets and everything. So we never got to prepare for this test.
The psychological trauma that you are describing is just unfathomable. To think that you're in charge of a whole group of children in this situation, obviously scared, traumatized by hearing these sounds. As you say, it's not something you necessarily get used to just because you live in Sderot. What do you say to young children? What is the message that you give to them in that time when you're trying to calm them down, but you also know at the same time they are in severe, grave danger?
Well, at the time when it happens, I'm only busy like talking to them and trying to calm them down. I can't talk logic into them. There's not much logic here, but I can't. But we try during the year and all the time, talk to our children and to the students and explain to them that, first of all, we have a right to live here in Israel. We have a right to live in Sderot, and we're going to continue living here. And I keep on asking them, like, if children say, I don't want to live here when I grow up. And I said, okay, let's say theoretically we all leave. What's going to happen? No, they tell us. No, we're not going to leave. They're trying to scare us out, and we're not going to let them do it. So they understand that that's the right thing to do, and that we have to be strong. And we try to strengthen them and give them the strength to that when things like this happen, they won't. They'll understand why we're here and what we're here for, and that's what keeps us strong, and that's what keeps us here. I mean, if somebody would bomb your town, you would just want to get up and leave? No, you expect that your country will retaliate, and that's what we expect. That's what we expect, that if they bomb us, we're civilians, the army will help.
It's such a remarkable concept that life goes on, so to speak. We saw it earlier in the day. Construction workers had carried on working after the sirens had gone off later on in the day. They were back at work. Will there be school tomorrow? You're giving this message that life goes on, but there are dangers ahead. What are the authorities saying? Will classes resume tomorrow, given that no one can predict what will happen in the coming hours and days?
Well, we don't know. It depends how the night goes. We know that sometimes in the morning we get messages if there's school or no school, because if there is a lot of bombing going going around, so there's no reason to leave house, let a lot of children leave the house. That's true. My daughter is in 11th grade. She has her English Bagut, which is the big test, the final, an English final tomorrow. We don't know what's going to be, if they'll have it or not, because to have a big final, big test under bombing, it's not realistic at all.
Certainly, one can imagine that it's very likely that classes won't be happening tomorrow, of course, waiting for authorities to make that kind of confirmation. Very briefly, we don't have much time left. In the coming hours, you, your family, your children, your extended family, what are your plans? Will you sleep in shelters this evening?
The children all will. I'm talking about children also. My 23-year-old daughter, they don't like running, and they want to have a good night's sleep. She has to go to work tomorrow. She can't let herself run. And my husband and I, we sleep in a room close to the shelter room. So as long as there's once or twice, we run. But if it becomes worse, we all sleep together in one room. No choice.
Atara Orebouch from Sderot, thank you so much for your time and your insights. Stay safe with your children, your family, and your pupils. Thank you so much for speaking to us at this very difficult time. Stay safe.